Hello and welcome to this week's episode of 30 Minute Reviews. I am Adam. The calendar reflects that we're going to do Sing Street this week. Originally, it was going to be Blades of Glory because the movie Distant was supposed to open this weekend. I don't know if it still is or not. I know that that's not my priority this weekend. My priority this weekend is the Women Talking, which, considering I'm recording this on Saturday morning and the Oscar nominations come out the day that this episode goes up, I don't know if it's nominated for Best Picture yet, but indications lean toward it will be nominated for Best Picture, from what I've been reading and what I've been seeing. So that was something that I wanted to get to see first. So Distant, even if it is coming out this weekend, which I'm not 100% certain it is getting a wide release, was happening. And the reason why Distant and Blades of Glory are related is because the directors of Blades of Glory, Scott Beck and Woods, um, Scott Beck, and I don't remember the first name of Woods, but they directed Blades of Glory, and then they also directed Distant. Um, so I was like, all right, the directors are the same. We'll put that up. And then I'm like, all right, let me see if I can find Blades of Glory somewhere. So I'm looking on various streaming services, and I have so many streaming services at this point that I don't that they're coming out of my ears. I couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't find it on streaming service. So I'm like, let's see what else we can do instead, because I don't really want to pay for this movie, having just paid for what was it last week? Searching last week. Not to say Searching was bad or not worth the money, but I didn't want to pay for it again. So what we have here instead, what we're going to do is we're going to do Sing Street, and Peter and I were going to get together and do Sing Street. Because for those of you who don't know, on Beware of Spoilers, Sing Street was one of the first movies we did that we went into with very few expectations, and we got into a free screening through GoFobo. And if you don't have GoFobo, um, I would definitely recommend checking it out. It will link you to advanced screenings of movies. Not necessarily not press events, but like events to get people to get interest generated. I got into that, and then I think one other one ever I've been invited to, and that was Gifted. But when I got there, I didn't get it. That's another story though. I ended up seeing Logan for a second time that night. But we were gonna do Sing Street because John Carney has a new movie debuting at Sundance this week, and we didn't. I we were going to do record that. Unfortunately, I had something come up, and I have to go somewhere the day we were supposed to record. And he's got a busy schedule, and I have a busy schedule, so we couldn't quite line it up. Um, and I didn't want to do Sing Street alone. Maybe we'll just save the Sing Street episode for when the movie comes out in theaters for a wider audience. But for right now, we needed something for this week. And I didn't have time to watch a movie or what's it called? Watch a movie and then do a review of it. So what we're gonna do instead is I'm gonna upload an old episode of Beware of Spoilers that Peter and I did back in 2016, 2017. It is John Wick Chapter 2, um, which I recall liking a lot. And as we get closer to John Wick Chapter 4 in March, I think it's time we start looking back at John Wick a little bit and starting to get reacquainted with that world. So without anything further on that note, please enjoy this discussion of John Wick Chapter 2 that was recorded the weekend it came out, I believe. If not the weekend it came out, the week after it came out. I don't remember the exact date, but it was around that time. So with that, enjoy. Welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I'm Adam.
And I'm Peter.
Let's see. We haven't been here for a while since Star Wars, and even that
Wow.
we didn't have a dedicated episode for. We did a crossover among multiple shows that have the same cast. So I don't know if that counts as a crossover. Um,
That was crazy.
yeah, it was
People went
lit,
wild.
lit with a capital T. So this week we're back with John Wick, the second movie of 2017 to star Ruby Rose from Orange is the New Black.
What was she also in? I forgot what the other one was.
Triple X, Return of
That's
Xander
it.
Cage.
They're doing
Um,
that on How Did This Get Made? They're going to do that movie. It's like the
Good.
first time they've done a movie in theaters.
Yeah, I that was a disaster. But fortunately, we're breaking the cycle. We haven't had a good movie that came out this early in the year in a while. Um, Isn't? Would you agree with that, or
Uh,
like?
I think no. The Witch came out early in the year last year.
But this early, like this February, beginning of February early.
Yeah, it came out in February because I was
Oh,
in Seattle on
oh yeah, that's
interviews,
true.
and that's when I saw it. I saw this movie in the same theater. It's my favorite movie theater because everything is like super loud, but
Hmm.
the sound mixing is really good. So it doesn't. It's not like too much, but it's just really loud while you're in the theater.
I used to go to the Regal up in Albany, as Peter well knows, because we've seen quite a few movies there. By the way, do you know how many movies away from seeing 20? Well, okay. Do you know how many movies we've seen in a Regal theater this year? Well, I've seen
How many?
15 since last May.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, because it also counts times you buy tickets for other people. So,
Okay.
like, I bought 3 tickets to go see Suicide Squad, and I bought 2 to see Independence Day Resurgence. Which actually, the way I felt coming out of this movie is very similar to how I felt leaving Independence Day Resurgence.
I
Uh,
didn't. I like this better than Independence Day.
well, no. I mean, I had the same feeling of I went in expecting X, Y, and Z. I got X, Y, and Z. What more could I ask for? Like when you go into Independence Day Resurgence, like I said when we did the review of it, if you went in expecting anything more than campy science fiction movie stupidity, you were going to be disappointed because the original Independence Day is a big budget sci-fi original movie. So like if
Yeah,
you went in expecting like Star Wars, then you were going to be disappointed. But this I went in expecting a really good action movie, and I came out like that. That was sad. I feel satisfied after that. Like I didn't feel short changed. It didn't exceed my expectations because I already had my expectations high enough. But I felt satisfied after leaving the movie.
my my expectations were definitely higher going into this
Um,
than what did I say? Than
Independence Day.
Independence Day. I went Independence Day with very like somewhat low expectations.
Well, that's true. Well, Independence Day, you had to subdue it going in because it's like there's no way this is gonna be that good. So yeah, so let's talk about the previews before the movie.
I was just trying to look up one of them that I saw. I
Um,
think it's going to be the worst movie of 2017.
is it the Tupac movie?
No, it's the one with Nicholas Holt.
Uh,
He when you think of Nicholas Holt, is the first thing you think of lead man in an action movie?
I think whiny side character in an action
Nope.
movie.
Get ready. He has his own action movie,
Nice.
and it looked like I thought it was a joke. Like I thought it was a fake movie for a commercial.
Like
Like
one of
that's
those, like one of those, like what was it called? Like the fake Eminem movie they show, or like silence your cell phone.
yeah. Like I thought it'd be like that, and they're gonna turn and it would be like, oh haha. But it was so bad, and it was like even more sad because you could tell he was like
Trying.
Anthony Hopkins and what's the guy that played Gandhi?
Idris Elba.
No, Gandhi.
Oh, not Nelson Mandela.
He
What
was
movie?
also in
What movie
Iron
was
Man
Gandhi
3.
in?
Your favorite?
Ben Kingston.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you would know him for other things. Well, Ben Kingsley's in it too, and he's basically playing the same character as he played in Iron Man 3, like, but not the Mandarin, like his real character.
Uh huh.
And it's him and Anthony Hopkins just look like they're joking around, and they're just like, "Oh, let's get a giant paycheck."
Yeah,
Like, who cares?
exactly.
But you can tell Nicholas Holt is trying really hard, and it's really sad. Like there's one part where, like everyone was laughing in the theater as the trailer was going on. There's one part where he meets the girl and like she says, "I love you," and she's just like, and he turns to her and he's just like, "No one's ever told me that before."
In
That's a
real
real
life.
line. Then it's like there's so many like shitty things. I can't even remember what the name of the Collide. That's what the movie is called. I recommend watching the trailer. That's how bad it is.
What's it called? I had a few trailers that made me feel differently than I did when I watched it at home. Ghost in the Shell. Did they show that one for you?
No, I still have not seen that trailer.
Um, Ghost in the Shell. When I heard they were announcing the movie and it was to be made by Disney, have you ever seen the original Ghost in the Shell?
I watched the trailer for the original one, but I've not seen it.
Okay. I watched the original Ghost
in the show. And I don't want to sound like one of those like anime fanboys who's like, how fucking dare they make this into a live action movie? Which happens anytime this happens, like when Dragon Ball Evolution got made. That I actually did get legitimately pissed off about, but then it's like they made Attack on Titan, and that wasn't good, and now they're making this.
And they're making this. Isn't Scarlett Johansson the lead?
Scarlett Johansson is playing the Major. That's not my problem with it, because the Major, okay, the Major has always looked. The Major doesn't look Asian.
Well, it's an anime, so everyone looks Asian.
Well, no, but she looks Caucasian. Like she doesn't look Asian. She looks Caucasian, which that's not even the point. My problem is, if I wanted to see a Black Widow movie, I would have waited until Marvel eventually relents and makes a Black Widow movie, or I would watch Lucy, or Under the Skin. Wasn't that the movie she was in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any of those would have done the same thing. And here, the problem with this movie is, they seem to be ignoring the philosophical aspects of it, which is what made the original Ghost in the Shell great. The original Ghost in the Shell is how much of you is you, because it's about people who are the original movie is about people who are jacked into this like the Matrix, and they pilot the shell, which is the exoskeleton, like the exoskeleton.
Was it like that Bruce Willis movie?
Which one?
There was that shitty Bruce Willis movie where everyone has like robots that they've used to walk around in real life with, and everyone like sits in their house.
Well, yeah, that is what it is. So
that came out like much later. Like that came out like within 10 years.
So it's really not
shitty movie.
Yeah. So that is what that's what this movie is, and what it seems like, and what the question the movie raises is how much of you is you, because if you're not a physical body and your consciousness is in this shell. Now let's say, and what happens to the bad guy is this guy called the Puppet Master who keeps hacking into the shells and taking them over.
Hacking in the mainframe.
Basically. But he keeps taking over people's consciousness and making them do things. So how much of you is actually you is the question. Like, is it still you if your body's doing things but your mind isn't there? Like that kind of thing. Which it's stupid philosophy, and it's very elementary philosophy. But it's there nonetheless.
I like those kind of things. Westworld does that.
But the point is, it's there nonetheless, and the movie's not a straight action movie. It at least attempts to raise the question while you're there. This movie does not seem like it should be a straight action movie.
Oh yeah, I think, and it's not going to do well.
No, it's not going to, and not because of any boycotts. So if you're thinking of boycotting this movie, you don't have to boycott it for a political reason. You can boycott it because it's going to be a piece of garbage.
I feel like people boycotting it will actually get more people to see it because it'll give it more press.
I'll see it out of spite,
or just be like, oh, okay, I'll go see that. But like, it has to have something because people are boycotting it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. So that was one. They showed the Logan trailer again.
I didn't see that. They didn't show the same trailer as mine. I saw it at Sundance Cinemas, which is a 21+ only theater.
Oh, because they sell alcohol.
Yeah, and there's Robert Redford pictures everywhere because he owns Sundance.
Now, my question.
I like it.
My question with the Logan trailer. I'm seeing this before John Wick Chapter 2. John Wick Chapter 2 is rated R. Why couldn't you show the Red Band trailer?
I don't know. Maybe they only made one Red Band trailer.
No, because there is a Red Band trailer that they released. Trailer 1, Red Band, and then regular, and then there's Trailer 2, Red Band, and regular. Why couldn't you show the Red Band trailer? Because the Red Band trailer says on the Red Band, it says this movie will be rated R in theaters and has been approved to accompany this picture.
Yeah, I understand what Red Band trailers are.
Oh, well, I'm explaining it for everyone else. We have an audience.
Sounded like you're talking down to me.
I'm not talking down to you. So, but why couldn't you show that before this movie? Now, not that there's a huge difference between Trailer 2 and Trailer 2's Red Band trailer. It's just there's slightly more blood, and they say fuck twice. Which means the trailer will be rated R.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's... They just didn't show it for some reason. Trailer 2 isn't as good as the first one.
I agree. I saw the new trailer for Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
I missed that.
They
During the Super
play
Bowl.
a Johnny Cash song in it.
Do they really?
Yeah, I forgot.
Man, Johnny Cash's estate making a fuck ton of money.
It does not work as well.
It's not as good as Hurt.
Song. It's not Hurt. I forget it's his other, like, one of his other famous songs. And I
Walk the
forget
Line, Ring of
No,
Fire,
it's not one. No.
Jackson,
No.
Folsom Prison.
No.
What else?
Hold on.
I'm not gonna sit here and keep guessing.
But and then it shows, I don't know, it was weird because they don't, like, show Johnny Depp in it, like, at all.
Yeah, same thing happened with the first one. The first trailer
Like,
they released.
they're acting like he's not, like, a main character, but they're acting like this is the first movie, and it's like a mystery who he is, but we've seen him a little bit.
Exactly.
Like,
We've seen him now. This is the 5th one, so, like, why do you keep hiding him? What else? I don't know. I don't have faith in that movie, but then again, I don't have faith. It's gonna make a ton of money, and it's gonna be a piece of crap. Like on Stranger Tides.
It was "Hold Me Down." That was the song.
Oh, okay.
I guess it's "Ain't No Grave Can Hold Me Down," and they're all undead. So.
Oh, haha.
And they all can run. They can also run on water. So there's some Jesus imagery in it.
Oh, so they brought in guest director Zack Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of,
part of me wants to see it. I don't know. I like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna see it anyway. Like that's just how it goes. It's like I'm gonna hold my nose. I'm gonna go see this movie. Like, what do you want me to do?
I'm probably not gonna see it in the theaters though.
Oh no, it depends on how much money I have. I might see it in theaters. What else? Speaking of Johnny Cash and trailers, the first one that came out that had Johnny Cash in the trailer. They showed trailer 2 for that movie today. Power Rangers.
Cool.
Which had a cover of Walk the Line in the first trailer. Let's see. Trailer 2. Do you remember how we described seeing the Star Wars trailer every time we saw it, and every time on the show we would say it gave me chills?
Yeah.
That's how I felt with this, and I've never felt that. You know what it felt like to me?
Wait, with the Power Rangers trailer?
Yes. It was like, remember how I described the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows? Where they had that really good cut of It's Tricky. Not It's Tricky.
Sabotage?
No, It's Tricky, yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, it had that really good cut in it, and it was like, okay, this movie has sold me. I mean, maybe it was just the way they cut it, but, like, my inner 5-year-old, like, leapt out of my chest and was, like, screaming at how awesome it is. Which I guess is what Transformers fans feel whenever a new movie comes out like that. And, like, I fully understand how Transformers got to make as much money as it did, where it exists, there's a weird intersection of nostalgia for things no one cared about in the past, and movies no one cares about now, and somehow makes $1 billion every time. Like, I legitimately don't understand. But, like, they've sold me on this movie. And granted, the other thing that's going to make me see this movie is if I see 2 of the 4 major Lionsgate movies coming out at this time, they're going to give me an extra 1,000 points at Real Crown. So, it's worth it. I'm not going to see the other 2 movies because they look stupid.
My other trailer was The Wall, or Great Wall, I forgot.
Oh, the Ben Affleck one with the under boob camera.
No, Matt Damon.
Yes, that one. Who did I say?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, same thing. They're interchangeable.
And Kong Skull Island.
They showed that one for me too.
That looks good.
Yeah, Kong Skull Island did be good. We actually have that one scheduled for Beware of Spoilers.
That will be a good one to do.
Yep. So what was the other one? Oh, the last trailer they showed for me, was, you would think they would have used the last trailer for Power Rangers, considering this is a Lionsgate movie, and then Lionsgate gets to dictate, what's it called? They get to dictate how it goes with what trailers go before it. So
Do they for everything?
Lionsgate dictate the order of the movies and what movies they advertise.
Because then, like, why were all my trailers different than your trailers?
Marketing based on the market.
Okay.
You would think the Seattle market and the New York market would be similar, but
maybe because I was at a Sundance cinema, so
that's true.
Had to be different. Had to be different somehow.
So they this one, the last one for me was a movie about Tupac. That I do not.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this at all.
It's a biopic about Tupac coming out in June.
It's called. Never mind.
I don't remember what did you say it was gonna be called.
No, there's a movie called Tupac Resurrection, but it came out in 2003.
No, that's not it either.
I assumed so.
What's it called? Either way, the movie is gonna be this year, Straight Outta Compton. All Eyes on Me is the name of the movie.
I'm a little bit racist.
How's that racist?
You said it's going to be just like Straight Outta Compton.
No, it's going to be this year, Straight Outta Compton.
I spelled eyes wrong.
Great.
Someone's going to be fired for
that. The guy who's playing Tupac actually does look a lot like Tupac. I mean, I guess that was what warranted people screaming about not getting a nomination for all of the actors in Straight Outta Compton. Was they look just like them? How could you not nominate them for acting Oscars? I'm like, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't get nominated. Yeah, exactly. Robert Downey Jr. doesn't get nominated for looking like Tony Stark because that's part of the role. Like, that's the bare minimum of the job. But the other thing is the trailer starts with like multiple separate clips of police brutality. Like from news, from the news and from dash cams and stuff like that. So
and how like Tupac stopped police violence,
and how it's like his mom's talking to him through the whole trailer. It's not her voiceover. It's like you're gonna become a target for them. You're like all the black boys. You have a bullseye on your back. Like I know exactly what this is doing. This is baiting people to come out and see it in June. Then they're gonna come out and see it. Then everyone's gonna know this movie. That's why there was no outcry over like if Moonlight didn't get nominated this year. There would have been less outcry than if Hidden Figures didn't get nominated, despite Moonlight being the better movie, because everyone has seen Hidden Figures, no one has seen Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
So if this will be next year's big, well, why didn't this get nominated? It's not a good movie. It's a good summer blockbuster. Like that's what Straight Outta Compton is. It's a good blockbuster, but it's not a good movie.
I was thinking Moonlight handle. I haven't seen either, like this or Moonlight, but from my, I guess, perspective of trailers, I think Moonlight handles like race relations and like dealing with. I think it deals with racial prejudice. I'm not sure, but dealing with that better, like in a more real way than I think this Tupac movie is going to deal with it in like.
Or Straight Outta Compton did.
Like an expose kind of way.
Well, Straight Outta Compton makes it seem like they're going to tell the true story about how the government killed Tupac.
I might see it then.
Because the end of the movie, the end of the trailer is, someone, I forgot who it was who said it. Someone says
Ronald Reagan, and he's just like, "We got to kill Tupac."
No, it ends with I forgot. I don't think it was the guy playing Tupac. Someone says, he said if he dies, he wants the truth to come out, and then it's like the title of the movie. And I'm like, this is gonna be one of this. I know it's gonna. I was just like, this is gonna be this year's Riddick. That was when I knew. It's race baiting, and it's gonna make people go and see it, and they're gonna be like, oh well, why wasn't this nominated? This is the best movie I saw all year. When it's like, okay, you saw that, you saw Spider-Man, and you saw like Power Rangers. Like, okay, out of the three, yes, this is the best, but out of all the movies that came out, no, it is not the best or anywhere near the best.
It was Bill Clinton. I thought Tupac died in the 80s, but he died.
He did not die in the 80s. Was it early 90s or mid 90s?
It was Bill Clinton. It was 1996.
Okay, yeah. That was,
I was 3 years old. I remember it like it was yesterday.
The more you know. I remember Bill Clinton going on the TV and saying, we're leading an important mission to kill Tupac, and the world cheered.
Yeah, it was Bill Clinton. He's just like, I'm he got mad because he wanted to play saxophone on one of Tupac's albums, and Tupac said no. So Bill Clinton decided to kill him.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. So do you want to start with the movie?
John Wick.
Yeah.
2.
We'll do the non-spoiler and then the spoiler.
All right, non-spoiler.
The non-spoiler.
John Wick 2 is a sequel to John Wick.
Yes.
Actually, it's called John Wick Chapter 2.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He gets another dog. That one, it doesn't die, so don't worry. That's the only spoiler, I guess.
Yeah, it's not really.
It's made to. I think it was made to look like you get a more deeper understanding of the hitman underworld of this weird universe of hitmen that have some sort of honor society, and it does that a little bit. It was much more melodramatic, I think, than the first one, and I wasn't sure if some parts were supposed to be funny or not, but people were laughing anyway. We'll get into, I guess, specific scenes later.
Yeah.
The action was really good. Besides the fights with Common was not good.
I don't know. There were a few scenes I liked with Common.
He went every fight scene. It would whenever he fought with Common, it would slow down so much because he can't actually do anything. And then it was Common making weird grunting noises.
Yeah.
And yelling kind of. It was really weird. And then the staircase scene was way too much.
That was stupid. Yeah, that bothered me. Did you?
That's when I was like, is this supposed to be funny? It looked like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah,
they literally fall down 4 staircases in a row.
Yeah, the first one's okay. I was like, okay, that makes sense. There's the second one is okay, there's no more. Then the third one, you're okay, this is.
I think
you
don't really get a lot of answers. You get a little bit more people talking about rules, but there's not really oh, this is what this is.
No, they explain it. They explain it very well.
They don't explain. They explain the stuff they introduce, like the marker, but they don't explain what the high table is or what they're actually doing. And apparently, 20% of the city of New York are actually assassins.
I would say more than 20% of the city of New York, based on what actually happened in this movie. I would say closer to 75 to 90% of the city of New York are actually assassins.
You also get to see the inside the World Trade Center train station.
Yep.
That part confused me a lot because I was like, "What fucking train station looks like
exactly.
this?" In New York? And then I literally spent that entire scene looking at the background until I saw a sign that said World Trade Center.
Yeah, it's that was happened with me too. I was like, I do not recognize this at all. And I was
just where are they?
What train station that also has Metro North is this clean?
Yeah, I was really confused. I thought they were in Europe or something.
But and then the C train, and it's okay, well, there you go. No, but I really like the scene with Common and Keanu Reeves when they're walking in the station. I mean, this is not really a spoiler. This is just something that happens, part of their half-hour-long fight between the two of them.
I did with the silencers.
Yeah, the silencers, they're just pointing at each other and trying to shoot each other, but inconspicuously, and everyone around them just walking like nothing's happening. I
think that this is a movie. This whole movie is commentary on people not paying attention and only looking at their phones. This is the whole point of this movie.
It's deep.
Also, when they get into a fight on the train and are shooting each other and trying to stab each other, people get up, but they don't leave the car. They just move over.
You're okay. Well, to be fair, it is Lower Manhattan.
What does that mean?
The train does go north too. It's this is just a normal occurrence because it's New York to everyone else who's never seen this, who isn't aware of what New York actually is.
Or
this is what everyone thinks New York is.
Or they're all assassins.
Oh yeah, that is also an alternative. But then they would have jumped in, I think, if they were also assassins. Or if there are that many assassins, this is going to be normal for you then.
I guess that's true.
So if there are this many assassins in the world, it's well, this is happening again. Move out of the way.
And he also goes to Rome, and I just finished reading Angels and Demons, so I knew exactly where he was. I'm an expert in Roman.
Were you able to give commentary to everyone in the theater about all of the beautiful architecture?
Yeah, I just stood up and I just that's St. Peter's Basilica.
Thanks, kid. Shut up.
Angels and Demons. This happens.
Was your theater empty, by the way?
No, I was surprised. There was at least. It's a really small theater.
Uh-huh.
I think I saw it at the 1:00 showing.
Mm-hmm.
But there was at least 30 other people there.
Yeah, mine was empty.
I know that doesn't sound like a lot.
Mine
No,
was
I
empty.
thought it was gonna be empty, but it wasn't.
Well, I went at
But there was
10:45 in
this
the morning.
That's probably why. There was this old guy of mine where he like sat down and started playing Galaga on his phone at full volume. He shut it off like once the trailer started, but like everyone was looking at him like it was.
That was like in the middle of the movie. Just like
it wasn't during the movie, but still, it was weird to do that in public.
Let's see what else is there. Ruby Rose, as we said earlier, is there.
Oh, they never say her name.
No, yeah, exactly. Because I left the movie. I'm like, do I know her
name?
name, or like I just know her as her actress? Because like
you don't need to.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if it says her name in the credits. Her name is Ares.
Ares, okay. She's there. And that's really all you can really say about her. She's there.
Oh, the best. I think the funniest part is Common trying to speak Italian. That was the best thing ever.
Yeah,
it sounded even worse than what Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards when he says grazie. Like Common saying grazie sounds even worse than that.
Yeah,
he says like grazie.
Yeah, it was really funny. This is Common's second movie in a few months, by the way. Do you remember the first movie he was in?
Nope.
Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, I think you should stick to singing.
Cameos in a movie like that. We're gonna be like T.I. and play Dave in Ant-Man, where no acting ability is required.
T.I. was good in Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, it's a very small role. Didn't require much.
Oh, there's like 2 or 3 montages in this movie that are very. It's like I've never seen montages done like that before, and it was really good.
The first one's the one where he's getting the stuff together in Rome.
Yeah,
I really like that one. I like the part. I forgot his name. The guy who was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, he's also in Parks and Rec.
Yes, when he's talking about the guns, like the fine wines.
Yeah, the Salome. I got that word almost. And then they do another. I won't say what it is, but there's another more action montage like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, that one was good. Yeah, that's a big spoiler. I didn't expect that turn the movie took, and we'll talk more about that in the part after where we talk about spoilers, and how I think that was a bad idea. Like for me, the story is weakest after the midpoint, and that's the weakest part of the movie is the story.
I guess. Like, if we're gonna talk more about that once we can say the specifics.
Right. But yeah, I guess that's really all we can talk about without spoilers. So, how would you rate the movie?
Out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10. Why do you ask that every time? It's never.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna trick me one day.
Out of 48 this time. Just.
Oh, okay.
On a scale of 1 to 48, with where a 1 is great, and a -6, which is amazing.
I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was a very good action movie that we don't really get to see anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also very little shaky cam, which I despise. I hate shaky cam so much. And this movie does not rely on shaky cam to trick you into an action scene. Like you
also,
see
it does
everything.
Cut 90 million times in between. In the middle of one sequence.
Exactly. Yeah, there's not a lot of cuts. It's not disorienting. Like it's very fluid and a very, very fun to watch. And he kills people more creatively in this one.
Yeah.
There's cool shit like that.
Yeah, I would give it a 9. So yeah, after this point we will be spoiling the movie.
So buckle up.
Yeah, strap in. So let's see. Arguably my biggest problem, as I said before, is the story. Because like we know he's like the bit. How do I put this? Like, we know you're gonna set up a sequel. Like I know that.
I just thought it was gonna die at the end for a second. I was like, wow, they're gonna kill him, and I was like, that'd be cool.
I didn't think they were gonna kill him. I thought they were definitely, because very few movies are just 1 and 2.
But I thought I would be like, wow, what if it like at the end when the guy from The Wire, that's like the hotel, lobby guy, like when he came to get him at his house, I was like, oh, he's gonna kill him.
Yeah, I think what's it called? I think this would like I knew they were gonna be setting up a sequel, so there was really no stakes in the movie, and that's just because me going like That's just me logically thinking like they're not going to kill off this character because they're going to end up. They want to option sequels out of it. Obviously.
Lawrence Fishburne's character was strange too.
Yeah, it's just like, we have Lawrence Fishburne.
Like that's something I wish they got more into, like his relationship with the like assassin organization, like what he does,
right?
And like what the organization or like what the High Table does.
Did you know that every homeless person in New York City is actually an assassin? I did not know that.
I like that. That part was cool when he was like, "Oh, can I have a quarter?" And he shoots the guys in the head.
Yeah,
that's part of the action montage. That's really good because he kills two people with a pencil.
Oh yeah, the two people with the pencil. There was the
violin player that shoots him in the stomach like 3 times.
He's just like, okay, walk it off.
The janitors are the ones that homeless people kill. The sumo wrestler guy that shoots in the head.
He shoots in the head, then the guy goes to get back up, so he shoots him again.
And there was one more.
What was it?
The guy's that he stabs him in the taint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm like pretty sure he like cut his dick off. I mean, not blood.
I know. I think he just went straight up the taint.
No, I think the what I was talking about before with the cuts. If you watch the sequence after he kills what's her name, and
Ares.
not Ares, the sister.
The first lady, the High Table lady.
When he's in the scene that's like basically the same scene as in the first one where he's at the party and he's trying to escape.
Yeah, that was cool. They did it. There was like, I think that's a little throwback because it wasn't exactly the same at the party. But
do you know how many times there was how many cuts there were between him like on the stage and him getting to the catacombs?
How many?
4.
That's very impressive because a lot of shit happened.
Yeah,
that was cool. I think some people in the crowd definitely got shot because he was like shooting people, and I think bullets could have passed through into other people.
Yeah, and the other thing was he there was one other thing he did. What was it?
When he
the catacomb scene was interesting.
That was really cool. I like that because it felt almost like a video game, but in a good way, where he like laid weapons out for him in advance, and then that was really loud in the movie. I like the shotgun. I like the when in the shotgun part where he like runs out of like ammo, so he pins the guy down with the shotgun, and then he reloads the shotgun and then shoots him.
Yeah.
He went a little bit overboard with the shotgun, I think, because he shot some people like 3 times in the chest with a shotgun.
Yeah, just once will do.
Wasting a little bit, I think. At the end, when he kills the deaf girl, and he stabs in the chest, the guy behind me, like he said it quietly, he was just like right in the tit, and I just started laughing. It made me like it was so perfect.
I don't think she's dead, and I don't think Common's dead either.
That part was dumb. If you stab someone in their aorta, it's not like blood would still go everywhere. It's not like your aorta would just sit perfectly on top of the knife.
We got this. We're good. No,
I hope Common is dead. When Common died, I was really happy because I really didn't like him.
I think the best part about his death was how he's staying on the train, and John gets off the train, and it's like, this is the end of the line.
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, on the end, like, this is the end of the line, over and over again.
The mirror room was cool too at the end.
That was that's even what the first John Wick did. It's very good with the use of visual. Like it's very well. It's a very well
set design
set design movie, and the choreography is really good for using the set design constructor.
Yes, I also like all the stuff breaking. That was cool, and I like he just shot the guy in the head in the hotel.
Yeah, which sets up which I think what they should have done, and I was about halfway through the movie, or right before he went to Rome. This is what I thought was going to happen.
That's like the first half an hour. This is when he goes to Rome.
Well, no, because you still fucking set up, think what you're gonna do in the future. Well, first of all, the movie opened like a Bond movie, where he was on some other mission unrelated to the movie at large, and then it goes to the weird opening.
That was the end of his retirement, I guess, or the end of him being out of retirement. Yeah.
Yeah.
That part was pretty funny too, but like the Russian guy.
Did you catch where John Wick is from?
New Jersey.
Yep.
It says that that in the first one too.
They did
a good job. Even the inspection sticker is right, like on the windshield. I checked.
Good for them.
And also, did you see the Russian guy's assistant with like the mustache. Did you recognize him?
The assistant with the mustache. No,
Yeah.
what was he from?
He's in House of Cards. He's the union rep that's in Peter Russo's district in the first season. That's like the union leader of the shipyard workers.
I would say, do you recognize the guy who is the car repairman?
John Leguizamo?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate him as a human being because of that annoying Optimum commercial he got.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's annoying. It's like
I hate him as a human being because he like brought an old Toyota RAV4 on like Pimp My Ride. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, I think what's it called? What was the other thing he did? With this in this movie, okay, so early on they set out the rules of how this movie's gonna work because the Italian mob comes to him this time and goes, we have a marker and we want you to honor it. So he says no, and consequently gets his house blown up.
But a dog didn't die, so it's okay.
But if there's anything he learned last time, is if someone with mob ties comes to you and asks for something, you say yes. And also, I think that this guy may be the single dumbest motherfucker in the history of movies.
Yeah. He's pretty stupid.
Like, after he just finished his revenge, like, rampage, like, across New York City, and killed hundreds of people, single-handedly, most of which with his bare hands, you're like, let me just blow his house up because he won't do something for me. Like, did you not?
I like that in the beginning too. They bring up his questionable like morals, and he's just like he killed all those people just for a dog.
Yeah, like for
that's
over
how
a puppy and a car.
Keanu Reeves does an interview with Screen Junkies,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Do you think it's okay that he murdered all these like hardworking like security people because someone else killed his dog?" And then they asked him about if he goes up to stone people and tells them the Matrix is real, and he says it's real. When after Speed came out, he would like get on buses, and he always wanted to get on a bus and just be like, "Here we go."
I think that was the other thing about the opening. It was a good way to recap what happened in the previous movie because I think they realized not everyone who is seeing this movie. They just heard about the first movie and didn't know about what happened. And like didn't know the plot details, so they very quickly go over it in the opening sequence when he's like having the car chase. And the car chase it felt a lot like watching someone play Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it looked like how I played Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, like here we go.
There was just someone smashing into like everything and then refusing to leave the car even though it's like
dead.
The opening was really good. The end when he was like, "Yep," when he's just like, "Tell me," like that was really weird. His acting wasn't as great in this one, or it felt very forced.
Well, because the thing is, the first movie didn't have much opportunity for him to act as much as just walk around and shoot people.
Yeah, well, I think the first one he was good. Like it was just very calm. This one, I think he tried to be more intense, and I don't think it worked.
Mm-hmm. So the guy comes to him with the marker and says, "You're gonna do something for me." He says no. House gets blown up. So he walks all the way to New York, and with his dog. That dog is very well trained because the dog does not have a leash, and he just follows him.
That's a cool dog. I like the dog.
So he walks the dog and walks all the way to New York, and he goes to the Continental, which we learn has a lot bigger significance other than just being a hotel that houses people who are assassins.
We learned that in the last one because we learned about some of the rules in the first one of the like assassin code that you can't kill anyone on hotel property.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it's
the good thing they brought that back because I would have forgotten that.
Yeah, and the network system is something brand new though.
Yeah, the whole network with the coins and all that.
With the typewriters.
Yeah. So he goes there and talks to the owner of this branch of the Continental and goes, Is there any way I can get out of doing the marker? And the guy says there are two things that we cannot overrule because they're the most sacred rules. One is if you have a marker, you have to follow it. And two, no conducting business on the grounds of the Continental.
Yep.
So the guy's like, look, just do what he wants, kill him, and be done with it. Like, and I'm like, that's actually a good idea. And then all problems solved. So what else happened? So he then goes back to the guy, who's like the biggest dick on the planet, and
the Italian guy.
Yeah, and the guy's like, I want to kill my sister. Now at this point, it raised the question to me: why is it that there's no rule against using the marker to kill family? Because this is organized crime.
Because the marker isn't for the mafia; it's just for the assassins.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you don't have to be in a organized crime syndicate to be a part of that group. It's just people in that mafia are also members of that group.
No, it just seemed to me like when they said the international, the international table, the high table. Anytime they said that, It seemed like it was like a group of both the assassins and the organized crime.
I thought it was just different organized crime bosses together, like in Spectre.
Right.
Like that,
also in
where
Rome.
it's just just like angels and demons. But I felt it was just because they said the Russians had a seat, and then they had a seat.
And it was that guy, the black guy who got intruded on by the lady.
Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot him. I thought that was going to add up to something later on, but then it didn't.
He just showed up in the last scene.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, he's going to do something, but he didn't do anything.
Now, I would like to point out one other big flaw in this movie. So, John Wick was sent to kill, what's her name?
Claudia Van
Damme. So he goes, then she has that weird scene where she's talking to him while she's undressing and then, like, cuts her wrist.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just walk out then and then get like, oh, and then, like, someone discovers her? It's not murder then, she killed herself.
Because then he didn't do it.
Right, but then there's nothing he can, like, okay, so he didn't complete the marker. Now he's like, I would have done it, but she was already there and she killed herself by the time I got there. Then what's he gonna do?
Yeah, but him shooting her in the head didn't. Oh, well, it
would have indicated there's someone else in the room. And
but Common saw him well before that they found the body.
Okay.
And then knew why he was there.
But the thing with Common is, if John Wick is there, it's not John Wick's style to cut someone's wrist and leave him for dead.
You don't know.
Putting the bullet in the head is what is his like marker. Like, oh, look at this. Like, this was John Wick.
Yeah, but everyone would know anyway. Because even if she killed herself, it's like the Italian guy still would have put a bounty on John Wick.
But for what reason? He wouldn't have put a bounty on because he would have had no reason to. But if he said put up $7 million bounty, it would have been like, why? But because he killed her, that gives a reason.
Okay, well then there wouldn't be a John Wick 2. How about that?
Exactly. Don't create these giant logical flaws in your movie and don't expect me to pick at them.
I don't think it's a logical flaw.
It is. Just have him shoot her in the head. Checked. That whole awkward scene is eliminated, and the problem solved.
I liked it. I thought it was cool because she slits her wrists all the way up her arms.
Yeah. Then he has the fight with Ares in the tunnel system, and Ares does nothing, just lets all the faceless men run after him and try and kill him. And that turns out well for them, as he leaves behind a pile of bodies.
Yep.
Then Common attacks him in the street. And for a country that doesn't have guns, people in this city of Italy are just okay with the amount of gunshots that are being fired off.
Oh yeah, there's also the opening scene when he hits a guy on a motorcycle, it like shows all the traffic in New York City except where they're driving.
Yeah, exactly.
There's like no one around at all.
Yeah, and then there's a scene where he, um, then he goes into the continent. Then they crash into the Continental, and they're like, "Stop! Don't you know? Don't conduct business here." And there's that scene where
Who
that's
was that
like
guy?
the owner of the
The
Continental in Rome.
no, like the actor. He
Oh,
looked
I don't
familiar.
know. I don't know, but like I like the scene after that where it's like, "Let me buy you a drink," and it reminded me of, you ever see the Looney Tunes cartoons with the sheepdog and like Wile E. Coyote, and they go, and like in the beginning they go from their house, they punch in, and then it's like
Yeah, I have seen that.
that's what it felt like. And it's like, "You want day off? I'll cover your shift tomorrow." I was like, "Nah, I'm good." Like that's what it felt like, that whole thing. Because then they having the drink, and then Ruby Rose comes in and she's just like, "What's up?" And that's when we find out she's deaf.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Ew, you're weird. I don't want to hang out with you."
You know, they could have just not had her speak at all, and you wouldn't have needed to say she was deaf. Like, there was nothing that her dialogue added to the movie that made it needed.
Yeah, she only had like 3 lines of sign language.
And it was like, "Do you want me to buy you a drink?" Which could have been omitted completely. He could have looked at her and acknowledged her and walked away. Then when he kills her, she says something
She
to
says,
him.
"See you later."
Yeah, see you later. And he goes, "Sure." So you really didn't need any of that. And in fact, it probably would have been better if after everything she didn't say anything, and then he just said "see you later" as she was dying.
Or just walked away. Yeah,
Yeah,
the deaf thing was a weird. I was just kind of like, okay, I guess she was deaf.
I like how they showed him killing 2 people with a pencil.
Yeah, because he stabs one in the ear and then stabs another guy in the spinal cord, in the brain
So
stem.
take that, Heath Ledger. He killed 2 people with a pencil. They also
And
alluded
they
to it
showed
earlier
it.
in the movie. They also alluded it earlier in the movie.
Yeah, I think in the first one they talk about it too. He killed.
Like, he killed 3
3
men
people
with a
with
pencil.
He only kills 2 people with a pencil in this one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, nothing.
So then they put the bounty out on him after that. Now, this is the point in the movie where I'm like, this is stupid. Like,
Why?
because what they here's how I felt the movie should have gone. The movie should have been about him getting, like, it should have been an entire assassination mission movie, where his goal through the entire thing is to kill what's her name. And the point where he's in there and she's having the scene where she's going into the hot tub or the bathtub, whatever the hell that thing is, that should have been Common comes in with Ruby Rose or whoever comes in and catches him. And then the rest of the movie is him trying to do it again. And then he succeeds at the end of the movie. Then the bounty's placed on him, and he's got to come back to New York, face everything like that, and then kill the guy. And then he's actually in retirement. Trilogy over, happy ending for all.
No, I like how they did it. I think it would have been. They already, like, how much setup could he have done that it would take the whole movie?
The movie didn't need to be as long as it did, first of all.
It felt long at the end.
Because there's so much, like, if they just cut it, then it would have been fine. Let me see, what else was there? Do you have anything else you want to add?
When we were talking about how everyone in New York's an assassin, that's because at the very end, he kills the Italian guy inside the Continental. So then the Winston, who's the manager, declares him excommunicado, which is, I guess, basically another bounty that gets put out on him.
Yeah, for larger.
But this one he had larger, and like literally everyone in the world like can see it. So then he gives him an hour head start as like a friendship thing. But then he that part was dumb because then he's like running through every single person in the park around him is assassin. Then really he freaks out. He's just like running through the park, and everyone's like looking at him as they get a tech notification that they should kill him. People have like flip phones, like Nokia flip phones from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it would have been funnier, I think, if it was like
Common had an old Nokia.
Like if it was like a baby, like picked up its phone, like at that point, you're just going like full like stupid at that point. So why not?
Yeah,
just
that's
have,
like I don't know how much of it.
like, was that meant to be funny? Was that meant to be serious?
I think a lot of the movie I was feeling that way, where I was like laughing and other people were laughing, but I was like, am I supposed to, like, do they want me to be laughing
Yeah,
at
it's just
this?
meant to be like I couldn't tell because it's like it could have gone either way.
I don't know if it was like Twin Peaks, where it's like super like melodramatic on purpose to be somewhat comedic at times,
Yeah.
but this one could go either way.
And then what was the other thing where it was like
Oh, he also never names a dog. I thought that was funny.
yeah, like he's a good dog. Um, what else was there? The whole sequence in the subway was really cool, and it's another one of the times this movie really excels is when they have these large set fights.
Yeah,
where it's like they get to use the environment to their advantage.
except the sound of a gun with a silencer on it is still as loud as at least someone slamming a car door.
Well,
So,
suspension of disbelief.
Not very believable.
Then there is the
then the whole Lawrence Fishburne part with the homeless people
could be completely omitted, and I would have had no problem.
I didn't with and him putting like SIM cards into pigeons.
Like if he just went like, I'm going like if he's just like, he's probably back at the at the hotel museum I was at. Let me go there. I'd be like, oh, that's believable because he's a narcissist. So why wouldn't he be back there for his like coronation to the High Council or High Table? So that makes sense. So he goes there, and that's when the third act fight begins, and he takes on the entire of this guy's organized crime family and just like massacres everyone like they're nothing. And then he goes into like the exhibition of the soul exhibit or something like that.
Yeah, there was like this one guy, like it's called Reflections of the Soul, and it's about like looking inward because there's mirrors everywhere, and it looked really cool, and it was kind of like a little bit on the nose, but I get what they were doing.
Yeah,
like reflecting. But there's this one guy in my theater that was like laughing really hard, like at that narrator when like every line she was saying, he was just like cracking up in the back.
Like, okay, we get it. Like, you think it's funny, buddy? Like,
yeah, it was really weird. I was just like, do you like actually think it's funny, or are you trying to like make fun of it? Like, I don't know what you're doing.
So but the whole thing was very well shot, and the movie does a very good job of cinematography with this. So yeah, but that's one of the examples of a scene that like really brings it ahead. Is the cinematography in that one scene.
Lawrence Fishburne was funny though. Like I liked a lot of his lines,
but it didn't need to be there.
It didn't really make sense.
I feel like the entire reason he was in the movie was that way they could have the one line where he's like, "Me and John met many years ago, in a different life or something like that," and he was like, "Oh, haha, we get it. You were both in the Matrix."
But then it's because John Wick cut his throat open for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
But then didn't kill him.
John Wick is such a good assassin; he can not kill you too, and make you almost
still get credit for
it. But yeah, so like I said, movie I would give it a solid 9. And you're gonna stick with your 8.5?
Yeah, 8.5. I did feel like it dragged at some parts. Like
that was the only thing with it. Same thing with Rogue One though. Rogue One does drag in the beginning.
Yeah, but Rogue One I had a lot of bias going into it just because it's Star Wars.
Well, yeah, that's a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, like they could, and especially they had that ending scene with Darth Vader, so they literally could have just like had a prolapsed anus for an hour and a half, and then just had that scene, and I would be like, that was the greatest movie ever.
It was like Jurassic World with how it's like you could just had Chris Pratt reading the phone book for the first 2 hours and like, and here's the fight with the dinosaur.
That movie was amazing.
But speaking of Jurassic World, did you hear what Max Landis said about Jurassic World?
No, it was probably gonna make me hate Max Landis even more than I thought I could. But
so this is Max Landis' tweet about Jurassic World. Casual reminder that Jurassic Park 3 had a genetically engineered super dinosaur that fought a T-Rex.
Oh my god.
is he just stupid, or is he playing
Everyone
a
knows
role?
that because there's a direct callback to that in Jurassic World.
I wasn't gonna say it. The Spinosaurus existed. I thought.
Yeah, actually, that's the other good point where it was just another. It was just a dinosaur, and it's a battle, but it's just like it lasts for like 30 seconds in the beginning of the movie, and it's like the Spinosaurus snaps the T-Rex's neck.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool, but it's not as like grand or meaningful as the one in the Jurassic World.
Yeah, Jurassic
And
World
in Jurassic,
was much
yeah. He definitely like Jurassic Park would be the best Jurassic Park. Like, ratings mean nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it did get a solid 5, or a respectable 5, or whatever how he called it.
Oh yeah, because everything he does gets like less, like 4 out of 10.
Yeah. Him and his good friend.
Did you see
Fantastic
JK?
4%.
Actually, I can talk about this later. Never mind. It's not about John Wick.
Well, bring it up because I'm trying to get to the movie inside to see what our next movie is.
Okay. Did you see J.K. Rowling got into a Twitter fight with Pierce Morgan?
No, I didn't see that. That sounds like.
All right, so Pierce Morgan went on Bill Maher last night, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to because apparently Bill Maher and
Bill Maher.
I like Bill Maher a lot, but apparently Bill Maher just like destroyed Pierce Morgan, and like everyone else hates. Well, because Pierce Morgan is a giant asshole.
He is. Let's not take anything away from Pierce Morgan here.
He's a men's rights activist.
He is the prolapsed asshole of news media.
Yeah, so he went on there to try to defend Trump and defend like men's rights, and then just got destroyed. And then I think J.K. Rowling said something about it like, "Oh, like Pierce Morgan sucks," and then Pierce Morgan replied, "This is why I've never read a single page of Harry Potter." That was his like comeback. And then she like just ripped them apart. She was like,
I'm looking at the other movies that are coming out.
She said, he said, "This is why I've never read a single word of Harry Potter." Then she responded, "Because you had a premonition that one day the author would roar with laughter at seeing you called out for your bullshit on live TV." And then Billy Baldwin said, "Amazing what an attention-seeking whore Piers Morgan turned out to be. Almost as bad as scum-sucking bottom jeweler Ann Coulter." Then Piers Morgan responded to that and said to Billy Baldwin, "Mate, at least I'm one of the top 3 most talented brothers in my family." Which is a pretty good comeback. Then Billy Baldwin responded, "Pretty talented family, so I accept. Make sure you and your producers keep begging me to come back on your next political talk show. #hack."
So I
think Billy Baldwin is in the top 3 Baldwin brothers because I think there are 3 Baldwin brothers.
There are 5. There are 4. That Family Guy skit told me there are 4 because it's Alec feeding his other brothers, and the other 4 of them are all like breastfeeding off of Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, because it's Alec, Steven, Billy. I don't know who the other one is.
So I found March's movie, so let's go ahead and pick our March movies. We're definitely gonna do Logan because we just do all. I think we just at this point just do all superhero movies. So we have Logan, and that's on March 3rd. We also have Kong Skull Island, and that opens on March 10th. So that's the beginning of the month. Now, for the rest of the month, there's Beauty and the Beast, which we can do or not. The Belko Experiment, what looks like a decent horror movie created by what's his name? James Gunn of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's about an office building. They showed this trailer too. An office building. They hire 80 people, and 30 of them they have to kill 30 of them. Like they have to choose among themselves what 30 die.
Ah, cool.
And it's like, and if you don't choose, we'll just kill 30 of you at random. So that's that movie is, and that also opens on March 17th. Well, Power Rangers opens March 24th, and Ghost in the Shell opens March 31st. I'm gonna end up seeing Power Rangers anyway at this point. I'm gonna be that guy going alone to see Power Rangers, but And I might end up seeing Beauty and the Beast as well, only because the trailer like gave me chills.
Oh, also I saw the trailer for Life, which seemed really good.
Yeah, oh yeah, that one looked good too. That they showed that one for me. Did you see the Beauty and the Beast trailer though? Not before this
No.
movie, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like I saw it in theaters before Star Wars, and it gave me chills because of like the instrumental of the theme. Like
hmm
they play in it, it's so good. And I think the movie's gonna be garbage, but it's there. Then for April we have I forgot they showed this trailer too, The Fate of the Furious.
Cool. Is that when he like betrays them or something?
Yeah. Okay. Let's put it in now, so that way I can say I said this before the movie comes out.
He doesn't have to betray them, or he gets his brainwashed.
He's being blackmailed by Charlize Theron into betraying them. He's not actually doing it out of his free will. And that's gonna be the twist in the first act is gonna be that he betrays them. Then the third act twist is gonna be, haha, I was playing you too. And then at the end of the movie, everyone's just gonna be like, oh, okay, it's fine, and then he just walk away.
Well, we all know that the Fast and Furious movies are known for their like advanced writing.
Yeah, exactly. And we all know Vin Diesel is known for his depth as an actor to be able to pull that off.
I don't think in any of the Fast and Furious movies he says a single sentence that's more than 5 words long. I think that's an actual specific, like a real fact.
Yeah, but that's the only one in April, really. Because like, I'm not gonna go see The Case for Christ, the Smurfs movie. To be fair, one of the best movies we saw last year did come out in April, and we had no idea it was coming out.
Sing Street.
Yep, Sing Street.
Yoga
let's see.
Hosers.
And then we also have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in May. Alien Covenant's also coming out in May.
Oh, of this year?
Yeah.
I've not seen anything about that.
It's opening against Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Long Haul. Do you want to do something that's gonna make you feel weird? I think because it made me feel a little bit weird. Do you know who's playing the mom now in Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Megan Trainor.
No.
Yep.
Alicia Silverstone.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, she's from
Clueless.
She's from Clueless, which we'll be talking about in 30-minute reviews.
She's probably like 30s or 40s now.
No, it's just weird because like I don't envision her to be that like the mom age. And then there's also Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales at the end of May, which we don't have to do that one either.
Are you sure?
July is a good month for us. I don't know if we've ever talked about what's coming out this July. Well, July lightened up a little because they spread out what was coming out because originally Wonder Woman was opening. Now Wonder Woman's opening in June. The Mummy is the week after in June. Then Cars 3, which is going to be Cars Rocky Balboa. Then Transformers: The Last Night. Then Despicable Me 3. Then going into July, you have Spider-Man: Homecoming, War of the Planet of the Apes, Dunkirk, and The Dark Tower.
Oh.
Like then.
Oh, I might read Dark Tower.
There's also apparently a untitled Disney fairy tale coming out in December. December 2017. It's just Movie Insider never moved it to December. It's still scheduled for July 2018 release.
Ugh.
August is a weak month though. We're gonna have to double up on something to make up for August not doing anything. Because we have the Emoji Movie, and I'm not seeing that. We have Annabelle 2, and I'm not seeing that. The Nut Job 2, and I'm not seeing that. And then 3 movies I've never heard of, which I'm not seeing any of those. The Lego Ninjago movie is coming out this September, which is not being done in the style of Ninjago the TV show. You've seen the commercial for Ninjago the TV show on Cartoon Network, right?
Yeah.
It's being done in the style of the Lego movie, like stop motion, with Legos instead of like animated, like all the Lego movies that come out on direct-to-DVD. But opening up in September is Marvel's The Inhumans in IMAX for like 3 days. You know why? Only 3 days?
Why?
Because it's a TV pilot being released in IMAX. The first ever TV pilot to be released in theaters.
Worth it.
We have... Was there another Cloverfield movie announced?
Not that I know of.
In October, you have Kingsman 2, Blade Runner 2049, and My Little Pony the movie will open the same day. Then don't know any of those. Then Insidious Chapter 4 is the last build on October 20th. I haven't heard of any of the other movies. Then October 27th is Cloverfield 2017 and Saw Legacy, both of whom are opening on the 27th. Now, November has Creed 2, no release date attached. Thor Ragnarok, which we have a potential spoiler for, we're going to talk about in 30-minute reviews. Daddy's Home 2, so get ready for that. Justice League, and then the Pixar movie Coco opening to end out on November 22nd. And December is just going to be... Oh, this is going to be a rough one. Star
I'm really
Wars
pissed
The Last...
off about one of those
Why?
in December. Well, there's 3 big ones, and then figure out which one I'm pissed off about.
You're pissed off about $6 billion Man.
No, I don't really have any connection to that.
Let's see. We have
Is it a big one?
Jumanji.
That's the one.
That you're pissed off about Jumanji.
I'm really fucking annoyed at that.
Why?
Do you want have you read the synopsis of it? I'll
No.
read it now if you want me to.
Go ahead, read it now.
Have you seen the original Jumanji, the masterpiece?
I have, but I haven't seen it in some time.
Okay, well, it's amazing. So, this one, in a brand new Jumanji adventure, the tables are turned as 4 teenagers are sucked into Jumanji's world, pitted against rhinos, black mambas, and an endless variety of jungle traps and puzzles. To survive the play as characters from the game, Meek Spencer becomes a stupid and girl-crazy jock, Dwayne Johnson. Football jock Fridge becomes a tiny Einstein, Kevin Hart. It girl Bethany becomes a bookworm professor, Jack Black. And unathletic Martha becomes an Amazonian warrior, Karen Gillan. To beat the game and return to the planet Earth with their lives, they'll have to start seeing things in an entirely different way.
Okay.
There are many things wrong with this. One, that's not what Jumanji is, or how it works. There's no characters, they're just like tokens.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how Jumanji is set in the present day with a football jock. Like, I'm like so fucking annoyed by this. And the board game, like it sucked Robin Williams in, and he just lives in the jungle. Like, there's nothing like special about it. It's just the jungle, and then things come out of it from like gets transported from it to the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just they were gonna ruin it. I hate it so much.
But yeah, Jumanji is opening against the $6 Billion Man and Pitch Perfect 3 on December 22nd against week 2 of Star Wars The Last Jedi, which will like bend all 3 of them over the table and like rape them all at the same time. Like, it's gonna be brutal, and it's gonna be something that they shouldn't be allowed to show on TV. It's gonna be that bad. Like, Pornhub would ban it because of how bad the rape would be. Oh, and you know what's opening against Thor Ragnarok?
What?
Bad Moms 2.
That
That
Bad
movie.
Dads.
No, it's called A Bad Mom's Christmas.
But there's also a movie coming called Bad Dads, which is from the same peeps.
With all 3 reprising their role. All 3 of the leads. They're visiting their own mothers for the holidays.
Whoa. Crazy.
Yeah, Pitch Perfect 3, I think that means they don't have any, what's it called? They don't have any faith in it, which is sad, because the first Pitch Perfect was good, and the second Pitch Perfect was okay. Did you see this? Did you see any of the second Pitch Perfect?
I've never seen any of the Pitch Perfect movies.
The second one has, like, what's it called? The guy and the girl from Elizabeth Banks. I forgot the other guy's name, who do the commentary on the acapella competitions. They're hilarious. There's like there's this one Hispanic girl on the team, and the guy goes, "Oh wow, she really earned her green card on that performance." And it's like there's one point where it's like they're in the second one it's international, so it's like they're facing this German team, and it's like this is the most substantial conflict between the United States and Germany ever. And there is one suspension of disbelief in the second one because Pentatonics they're competing against Pentatonics and they win.
Yeah, Pentatonics would probably win. Also, I don't think
exactly.
Pentatonics would go to a competition like that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't need that kind of like justification to their existence.
Yeah, they're the one acapella group that made it in the history of acapella groups. I feel like there can only be one.
Yeah, otherwise, the world will fall into chaos. So, yeah, so we'll be back with Logan on March 3rd-ish once we find out when we're going to be going to see that. That took about 20 minutes longer than I wanted to take on talking about what else is coming after the rest of the year. But we don't have to do it again. Ever. For the rest of the year. So we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So Logan is the next one, then Kong Skull Island. And we also have that in March. So we'll be back with those